Hello, and welcome to my little side project of integrating Rust into Unreal. So in front of you see one of the Unreal examples called Hour of Code, and this little fellow here, if I click it, you can see it's an actor, but it's not just an actor, it's a Rust actor. And this actor is driven in Rust. So let's hit play. So you can see that I can have a camera, I can move around, animations are playing, but it is actually implemented fully in Rust, and you can see this because I have a terrible camera that doesn't have collision. So one cool part of Rust is that I have implemented it as a DLL, so it can be hot reloaded at any time without crashing the editor. And let's try that out. So here we have a simple movement system in Rust where we get the camera view and we get the input direction, and then we set the velocity based on this direction. So we're moving 5 meters per second. But let's multiply this by 2. We go back to Unreal, and you can see we hot reload, and we are now moving twice as fast. And we can change it back again. You can see that we're now moving at normal speed, and it just hot reloaded. Of course, like logging is as well implemented, so you can log through Rust into Unreal, but we don't also want to spam at every frame. So disable it again. So one really cool thing is because Rust is a safe language, you can't actually really crash from it. Or in Rust, if you crash, you call it a panic, and the panic you can get, for example, if you do an array out of bounds access. But the interesting part about panics is that they are well defined, and we can catch them. So let's try that out. So here we can say, in Rust you can panic explicitly, and we just panic with the message, oh no, something is wrong. And if I go now to the Unreal Editor, you can see we hopped out of play mode, and in this log we have a warning that says panic from this file at this line, and oh no, something is wrong. And if I hit play again, you can see that we exit play mode immediately and get the panic warning again. And that's actually a cool part. So you can't crash the editor from Rust. And so let's remove the panic so we can play again. So the next part that I implemented was animations, and animations is just an animation blueprint, which was provided by this example. So if I go onto the skeleton mesh and we go open the animation blueprint, so this was already provided, but I changed 3 nodes. So instead of getting the pawn, we are getting the only actor, and we cast it to a Rust actor, and then we can get have a blueprint function that gets the velocity from Rust through an FFI call. And yeah, and then we just set the speed, and you can see that with this we can simply drive the animation blueprint through Rust. So currently it's implemented as a very basic FFI call, but in the future I want every data accessible in Blueprint from Rust and even have events. But that requires quite a bit of understanding of how Blueprint actually works and what's going on. Another thing I wanted to implement, but actually didn't have time to, is implement a proper details panel. So behind the scenes, on the Rust side, there is an entity component system. And I wanted to set some of the components directly inside Unreal, but I haven't had time for this. So with this integration, it's not really Unreal anymore, and we only use actors for communication. And on the Rust side, we have an entity component system. So nothing of the gameplay framework you can actually access. So there's no really any player controller, any game state, any game modes. It feels more like a clean slate framework, like more like Unity than Unreal. But yeah, this is a very, very basic, very basic proof of concept integration that I want to develop a little bit further over the next months. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little sneak peek